to Suffolk Matters, where all of Suffolk County meets the men and women of Suffolk AME. News, opinions, and insights you won't hear anywhere else. Here's your host, the president of New York's largest independent union, Suffolk AME's Dan Leveler.
Welcome to another edition of Suffolk Matters on Walk 97.5 and 94.3 The Shark, where Suffolk County meets the men and women of Suffolk AME. News and views you can't hear anywhere else.
So good morning. This is Thomas Moran, the Executive Vice President for Suffolk County AME, filling in for your normal host, Dan Leveler. Today with me I have the legislator from the 4th District, Nick Caracappa. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Tommy. Nice to see you again. Thanks for having me on.
And by seeing you, it's nice to see you in your pink shirt today, representing Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Well, it is October, and I'm standing in support. I have family members who, unfortunately, my Aunt Vern was lost to breast cancer, and my cousin Lorraine has fought it and continues to fight it, and we all have people we know. So just my way of, a little shout out to them, and give them some more strength and let them know we stand with them.
Sure, and I have my sister herself is a survivor of it too, so it's something that affects a lot of people on Long Island, and all the support that we can always give to those affected by that is appreciated, I'm sure, by our membership and the community at large.
Absolutely, brother. Stand with you.
So before becoming a legislator, you served as the president of the Utility Workers Union of America, Local 393. How long were you in that role, Nick?
Yeah, I served as president of Utility Workers 393, and those are all the bargaining unit members of the Suffolk County Water Authority. I served in that capacity for 14 years. Prior to that, I was an executive board member and shop steward. So, it was a great role, and I was honored to have it.
Sure. So the men and women of Local 393, what makes their work so vital?
Well, we're essential employees at the Suffolk County Water Authority, as many of us have been dubbed through this whole COVID crisis, but realistically, we've been essential employees from going way back, from the very beginning. We're there when the public needs us most, and a lot of those times, Tommy, the public's not even aware of what we're doing in the most crucial times, and that's when main breaks and leaks occur overnight hours. We get the calls, we come in, we dig the holes down, we repair those leaks and water mains, clean the streets, and before anybody even wakes up in the morning and realizes they had no water for the last 8-9 hours. And we do this year round, from the heat of the day in the summer to the frost and the snow in the winter. Our guys are out there, and we have some excellent men and women working at the Suffolk County Water Authority.
Sure, and it's one of those things where it's not something every day somebody would think about it, right?
Listen, it's the water we use every single day. We have water treatment operators. We have those who treat the drinking water, those who develop the methods in our state-of-the-art, world-renowned laboratories. We develop methods that detect everything from hair care products to people flushing drugs down the toilet, now prescription drugs. We develop that. We are the model that most other authorities turn to.
Sure. And now moving just a little forward, during your time as being a unit president, how is that similar to now serving as a public official?
Oh, well, let me tell you, it definitely gives you an advantage going into being in the public capacity. Look, everything in life is a negotiations. That's how I look at it. You need something done, you go in, you ask for it, you get a response, and you don't take no for an answer, and there's always some give and take. So negotiating contracts for the last 16 years for a couple of units in Local 393 and Local 393-2, the laboratory employees. You got to go up against an employer who they have their position, we have ours, and we go in, and at the end of the day, if you walk away with something positive for your members, both parties can live with, maybe not completely happy with, but they got security, they have a good job. That negotiation's the same as that in the county, the school board, which I sat on, which I'm sure we'll get to soon. But all those past practices helped develop me into not only a good leader, but now I believe it's a good legislator.
So now, as we talk and through that transition between labor leaders and the legislator, Let's talk about the unofficial labor caucus that's going on in the Suffolk County Legislature and who that involves.
Well, in the legislature, as you're aware, keenly aware, we now have more than a handful of ex-labor leaders and current labor leaders, myself included. There's Kevin McCaffrey from the Teamsters. We have James Mazzarella. He works for Local 402, I believe. And on the other side of the aisle, we have Sammy Gonzalez and even Tommy Donnelly, who's with the firefighters. So we have a very good representation of hardworking middle-class families, people who know what it's like to get out there and actually dig the holes, do the work, get in the truck, earn a good day's pay for a good day's work.
Sure, and that speaks volumes for not only people being from labor, but you mentioned some people that, this is almost a bipartisan thing now, right? You're working across the aisle, so to speak. And also recently, you kind of did that. You undertook the bipartisan effort to get the state to address some of the highway infrastructure. Could we speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was back in May. And, when I first ran, I sat in this very chair when I was running for the special election last year. And I made a commitment to anyone who would listen that I will work across the aisle. I have a very good working relationship with the other party. I endorsed quite a few of them when I was labor leader because we did recognize the importance of having the best people serve the residents of Suffolk County. So that being said, going right in, already having these relationships established, it was very easy because everybody in that legislature represents Suffolk County residents. All Suffolk County residents use these roadways. It doesn't matter if they're state, town, county roads. When we're together in these civic meetings or wherever we may be, public forums, people want to know what's going on with these roadways. Why are they in such bad shape? When are they getting repaired? Who's doing it? They don't want to hear that, well, that's not our roadways. That's the state roadways or the town roadways. They want to hear who, what, where, and when is it getting done. And from a personal experience on the expressway, my aunts use that expressway who are in their 80s. It's just terrible. I was coming home from my cousin's house in Nassau County. Nassau County Expressway, it's a different world from Suffolk County parts of the expressway. I'm being serious about that for a minute. As soon as I hit exit 49, 110, heading eastbound to Suffolk County, the craters just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And seeing almost a real tragic accident, I said, look, we got to get something done. We have the capacity to stand behind our state assembly, stand behind our state senators who are out there fighting the governor for more resources, more allocated funds to fix these roadways. And I proceeded to begin within our committee support. I started, lobbying for support, and it was very easy. It was so easy, in fact, that when we brought it to the rest of the legislature, they all signed on. At the time, there were 17 seats. There was an open seat in the third. But all 17 signatures. We had a letter to the governor that I drafted. We sent it out with all 17 signatures. And on top of that, Tommy, when the Supervisors Association, the Town Supervisors Association, led by Richie Schaefer, when they got wind of it, they sent in all 10 supervisors signed on to this very letter, and we included that to the governor. So yes, didn't matter what party it was. It's not about politics. It's about the people, keeping them safe, our families safe. Our roadways need to be put back and repaired immediately. And if you want to jump right to what happened with that, the press conference, again, was in May. When we pulled up to do this press conference at 9 a.m., it was actually one of the reporters who was there covering it that informed me. Well, she asked me, did you see the governor's, well, not the ex-governor's, email press release this morning? I said, no, I was unaware of it. And she read it to me. She proceeded to read it to me, and it was the governor was now allocating an additional $30 million as of that morning and moving the timeline for these repairs from a 24-25 timeline to a 22-23 timeline. Now, that's fantastic in itself. Just the voice, the power of the voice, Tommy, a bipartisan voice to get an additional $30 million, which is still not enough, and that's on top of what our great New York State senators and assembly people had already were promised. So it's we're still fighting. We still got to continue fighting for our fair share, and we pay the highest taxes in New York State. We deserve better roadways. We have tourists coming in from all over New York to utilize our Suffolk County parks, which probably are the best in the country. Not biased at all, but we have a lot of tourists, a lot of families using our roadways. We need to do a better job in keeping them safe and our own family safe.
Sure, and you speak of the $30 million, and that's all money that you're spending that's going to put more money into our county by people coming to work every day, by people coming to visit every day, and it only makes sense.
Well, Tommy, on top of that, we're creating jobs. We're putting people on the roadways, putting them to work, keeping the work here in Suffolk County, sustaining our communities. That's huge for me. You know, I'm a big advocate of keeping local jobs local. We have to keep residents here in Suffolk County employed. Those tax dollars that we pay them with go back into our own communities, our own infrastructure, our own small businesses. When we have out-of-state contractors coming in and taking that work, and these are multi-million-dollar contracts, Tommy. When these employees get paid and they go home, they're taking our tax dollars and bringing it back to their counties, their towns. You know, they're sustaining their communities, their pizzerias and small shops and malls and what have you. And we need that here. We really need to get behind this first choice plan that we're all trying to work on. You know, we have the Wicks law in place, and I don't think it's a fair option for the county or the state for that matter. We have to put local people to work and keep those tax dollars local.
So let's move forward with we're in the election season, the height of it right now. You've had the honor of serving the 4th Legislative District, and you're walking in the footsteps of your predecessor, the late Tom Muratori. If re-elected in November, you'll begin your first full term this January. How is the legacy that you follow influenced the way that you handle your priorities and the needs of your district?
The same way it has even before I became a legislator, and from the first day I became a legislator. Superseding a gentleman like Tom Muratori, who I consider a personal friend, not easy. He created a legacy there, as did those who came before them. 2 of those were my personal blood, my brother and my mother. So we have a vast history of having great representation in the 4th. So obviously, I'm not one who likes to fail at all, so I put everything into it. I like to succeed. I like to get things done. I don't have time for nonsense. I don't like to waste my time. My time is limited, so I get as much done as possible. So representing the people started with, first and foremost, keeping my excellent staff. You know, Bob Martinez, an hour back. Now we have a new person in our office, Sammy Ramos, and of course the great Bill Maggi. These are individuals that know the 4th District. They've been in that district all through Tom Muratori's presence there. And why break something that's not broken? Or why fix something that's not broken? So that was my first step. Keep my staff, keep those who are doing a great job serving the people. Everybody knows them. They know where to turn. So that even helped my start off. Not to mention my connections and my friendships, government-wide, county-wide, town-wide, statewide. So I got right to it, right to work. Priorities, you want to know priorities? It's going to continue to be fiscally sound, continue to make sure that revenue money, which I believe we want to talk about, gets allocated in the right ways, making sure our workers are protected and get those jobs back that we lost through COVID, whether through attrition or people just left their jobs, retirements. We have to refill those jobs. We have the money to do it. Those jobs mean services back to our county residents, which they so desperately need. And I know I'm preaching to the choir at you, Tom, because most of those jobs are filled by your members. So I'm not just blowing smoke here because I'm on your show. I'm telling you, our residents deserve better. They need these services reinstated, restored, and for the most part, we used a lot of that money already to repay your members who did not get the overtime pay did not get certain benefits. We got them reimbursed, and we're getting our services back up and running in the right capacity for our residents. So many priorities. I can't say I have one small category. It's from protecting our aquifer, quality of air, open space, protecting our veterans, our seniors, our youth, and number one, we've had this discussion not too long ago, protecting the hardworking middle-class families. I mean, that is the majority of people I represent and probably who live throughout Suffolk County, is the hardworking middle-class families.
Sure, and that's always our priority, is our membership, making sure that we have not only enough staff, but that our staffs are our members are compensated for the jobs that they do. You spoke about your past work as a union leader, and Nick, our union very well. So many different job titles, so many different roles, so many services that are provided, and to have the support of our elected officials is always our top priority, right? Because if we're not all on the same page and doing the best we can to promote what our members do, and to also work with our elected officials to make sure that we have all the resources we need.
Well, look, it's a partnership. At the end of the day, when we say, labor versus the county or whatever it is, it's a partnership. It's a team. And everybody has to be on board. Everybody has to work together. We have open lines of communication with your leadership and those those throughout Suffolk County, I should say, in many units. And again, whether you're labor or not labor, we are focused on keeping those members secure, keeping our county employees working, and I tell you, it really is a legislature priority to maintain these services. And I got to say, I'm very impressed on how we all work together to achieve that goal, recognizing the needs of our residents. And I'm telling you, you're going to see a difference in the coming months and years on how this legislature is operated and how we run. It's, as you mentioned previously, with the labor representation on the legislature, we do have a better knowledge than some of them had previously and even currently on what goes into a labor management relationship and how a secure, I'll say happy, why not? Happy employee, secure employee, an appreciated employee is a productive employee. The math is not hard. The equations add up pretty well. When you wake up in the morning, that alarm goes off, and you don't hit snooze 20 times because you dread getting out of that bed and going to the place that you work, doesn't matter where you are, county or otherwise, that's a problem. When someone would rather take a sick day on a rainy, cruddy day and then go to work, that's a problem. People should feel appreciated at work. People, when they wake up in the morning, should feel like they're part of something special and they're making a difference. So that's how we have to continue to operate in this county and across Suffolk County.
Sure, and that recognition in the morning, you're excited to go to work. You kind of hit it right on the head there. You wake up in the morning, you're excited to go to work because you really do care about the work that you're doing. You take pride in what
Absolutely.
you're doing. There's no fiscal or amount you could put on that. That's just something that's in your brain. The way you brought up, the way you live your life is that you're proud of what you're doing, right?
I learned at an early age, luckily, with my mom. Hard worker, single mom for the most part. Loved her community, loved her children. I don't know how she juggled both, but I guess I learned pretty well because I'm doing it myself now. And it comes down to pride. It comes down to being proud of your community, being proud of your family, and being committed to your family, and knowing if you're doing right by your family and you're fighting for your family, which I do every single day, you're fighting for other families as well. A lot of those families I know personally. I was a coach for 15 years in Little League. I've been involved in my community for years, Tom. Like I mentioned earlier, these connections were made government-wide through my association with not just labor, but I sat on our school board in Middle Country for 7.5 years, lobbying for extra millions of dollars. Again, negotiating with state officials and the governor. They give you one amount. It's not enough. We got to go lobby and get more, and we've done that. We were very successful while I was on the school board. Again, negotiations. Sitting on a Little League for 15 years, you have to fight for funding. We want to keep those expenditures down for the parents who want their kids to play. Again, got to fight for funding. Sitting on the civics, fighting for things that we want in our communities and keeping certain elements and things out of our communities. We want small businesses in, and we want to keep certain things out. We want the very best. So it all ties together. And yes, being appreciated autonomy at work is probably the simplest, most crucial ingredient to making everything work. It's so simple. I can't understand why people do not understand that. And I know personally. And I remember when I sat and screened with your committee the first time, you screened Nick Caracappa. You didn't screen Legislator Caracappa. And that's who you're going to get. Every day, every night, you're going to get Nick Caracappa, the community guy, the family man that loves what he does, loves his community, will fight hard for it, and we work outside county lines, out of our district lines. People are calling my staff all the time. They're not in our district, but we get things done. We go right to work. And again, tribute to my staff.
Sure. And just to speak on, when you've gone through the process already and you're speaking to the different labor unions and civic associations, anything that you're looking for the endorsement. You want somebody to say, Nick Caracappa is my guy. He's our legislator. So you had a little uniqueness, though, from your previous role as a union president, that you were the guy asking the questions to the people when they were coming in looking for that endorsement, right? So you had you had a little step up going in, but you were the guy that had to ask those tough questions. So you're ready to be prepared to answer those types of questions when they're asked. But I think what you're saying is, if you're doing the work, if you're making initiatives, if you're passing laws and you're passing work and stuff to get done in these areas, it makes it that much easier, right?
It's simple. When the formula is simple. We've always endorsed the most qualified person, and sometimes qualifications mean communication. If you're easy to talk to, you recognize the issues, they're willing to communicate with you and learn about what the plights are. Look, when I sat on the school board for 7.5 years, I'm negotiating from the other side. Think about that for a moment. So I'm serving as union president with one hat. The other hat, I'm serving as a school board trustee, where we're negotiating with units. I believe there was 12, 13 units in Middle Country at that time. And we're hiring superintendents, teachers. I know what questions to ask. I know what I want to hear, and if they're being genuine or not. And of course, their qualifications. And I'm proud to say, we have some of the greatest teachers in Middle Country School District and Sachem School District as well. I don't want to leave out Sachem, the part of my district, and of course parts of Longwood. But I sat on Middle Country, so I could speak directly to that. Wearing those two hats, again, it gives me a leg up, gives me an advantage, and I stand with labor. I stand with my teachers. I stand with our nurses. I stand with, the trades unions, the municipalities, because I value their work. I value what they do for our community, and you can't. It's undeniable. People complain all day about I haven't had a raise in a year. Well, if that's the case, contact your local union, AME, and we'll send over a couple of cards for everybody to sign. So I want everybody to be protected. And if they're not part of the local, then I'll protect them where I sit in the legislature by standing with them.
Sure, and that just only hampers down the point that you said earlier, right? You appreciated the work that they did, and that's what we want, is we want value. We want our people to feel valued.
Of course.
And
who doesn't want to feel valued?
That's what the appreciation is.
Well, if you want to feel valued, don't become an elected official. Because I'm only kidding. I'm kidding. I love it. I do feel my community is fantastic. And I got to give a big shout out to my community, and they rally behind me. And I'm speaking of rallies, I want to just mention, if anybody wants to come out to our rally on October 16th, Saturday, 2 p.m., right in front of my office on Middle Country Road in Selden, we're going to have a great big rally for those in the healthcare industry, those in even our schools, anyone who's working out there that are essential employees. Just don't think these mandates coming down just for medical. It's not going to stop there. You can see they're expanding on it already, and it's going to expand to everybody who's working out there in the public. So if you want to, and vaccines should be a choice. Parents should have the say on their children. So we're going to rally in favor of that. This is America. We want our rights. We want our freedoms. We shouldn't be told. We shouldn't be taking those freedoms and rights away. So if you want to come, 2 p.m., October 16th, it's a Saturday, a couple of hours, hear from our speakers. If you want to speak, call my office, 631-854-9292. If you have a group that's interested in coming down, come on down. It's going to be fantastic. It really is. Food and everything's going to be there. So our local businesses are supporting us. Teachers hopefully are supporting us. I know they are. And I know I'm going to see some of your people there too. Right, Tommy? I'm not putting you on the spot, but...
No, you never, not at all, legislator. Now, just for some of our listeners that might not know where your office is, there's a lot of things around town that have that Caracappa name on buildings and ball fields and stuff. So where can they go? Where is your office located?
It's in Selden, 325 Middle Country Road in Selden. Texas Roadhouse parking lot, Planet Fitness parking lot. Wendy's is in there. I'm trying to think of... the tobacco shop for those my fellow cigar smokers. It's right there, right in Selden, right on Middle Country Road and County Road 83. We're right there. You won't be able to miss it. Come on down. It's going to be fantastic. So if you support freedoms, you love our country, and you want your rights, then this rally's for you. Absolutely, 100%.
And listen, a man after my own heart. The first things you named, all the landmarks, are places you can go get something to eat.
Hey, listen, I didn't name any Italian restaurants, but, Capolini's is in there, and, I was joking around earlier. This is going to turn into like a cooking show. We're going to exchange mom's recipes on meatballs and, but I'm proud of ourselves, Tom. We stuck to the issues. We got everything addressed, but, that homemade pasta my nana used to make, well, I got to share that with you sometime, because I, of course, make it for my own kids now.
That could, If this works
it's
out,
trouble.
If this works out with me being a guest host, maybe I get a spin-off cooking show. And
I'm there. I'm on there. There's no doubt about it. We got a schvigadel. We can make the pastries afterwards. We know what we're doing. Don't worry about it. We all eat good. And everybody's looking around us in the studio. They're all getting hungry now. Egg pan parmesan. Everybody getting hungry out there. It's almost lunchtime.
So, just to bring us full circle on our little discussion here, Nick. Right, you had to run in a special last time, right?
I did.
You threw it together. Now you get elected. You're coming up for your first real election, let's say a normal election cycle. How is it going in right now that you're getting ready to go, trying to get all these events in, you're walking? What are you hearing back from the people that you're knocking on doors and speaking with?
Nothing but positive. Hey, look, people know me. I said earlier, I'm Nick Caracappa. That's how I am. That's who I am. People know me for who I am. They know I'm a fighter in a good way. They know I represent my community in a good way. They know I back law enforcement
100%,
keeping our roadways and our businesses and homes safe. And our community members want that. Keeping workers working, keeping small businesses open instead of shuttered. Protecting our infrastructure, almost everything we've touched on. What's not to like, what's not to appreciate from my community, they recognize it. Our community's smart. They're all hard workers, Tommy. They see the difference when a job gets done. Right now, with the budget, we have more tax dollars coming back into the 4th District than we have in the last 25 years. And that's not a knock on anybody, it's just the truth. We're having sewer studies done in all our communities, Selden Center Reach, Farmingville, Ronkonkoma. We're having roadways repaired. We're having signage put back. We're having sumps cleaned. We are just working. And again, my staff and I, it's tireless. If you even look at our Facebook posts, Nick Caracappa on Facebook, you will see. I mean, people are probably getting sick of it. They're like, oh my God, this guy, does he ever go to bed? I think he's part vampire. But the thing is this, the community, and when you talk about not just one community, you're talking about the ones I just mentioned and a few more, they all have their civics, they all have their chambers, they all have the libraries, and we support everything. We support everyone, of course. They're so vital to each community. Our Farming Residents Association, Holbrook Chambers, Middle Country, Ronkonkoma, they're so outstanding. Again, I'm probably a little biased, but these are the ones I see, how active they are in their communities. If it wasn't for these folks, our fire departments. We had a meeting last night with the fire departments. Again, another institution keeping our families safe, putting their lives and families second. You know, it's not difficult, Tommy. This is easy. It's something I'm proud of doing. If I can help those agencies help our families, then what better job is there? Really, what better job is there to do every morning? I'm proud. My kids are proud of me. As long as my kids and family love me, you know, what else is there, Tommy? I'm very happy. I'm very pleased at what I do, and I would do it for 100 more years if it wasn't for term limits. But I fully expect to be there as long as I possibly can.
Sure, there's nothing better. There's nothing better to serve your fellow man and woman, right? So, once again, my guest today has been Nick Caracappa, a legislator from the 4th District. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, Nick, and great seeing you again.
I'm going to go check on my sauce right now. Tommy, have a great day, brother. I love you guys.